Hey, I'm getting back into the apiary. We're going to do some beekeeping, so stay tuned. No, the bears did not attack my hives. Hello, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. Yeah, my hives are all in a disarray. It looks like bears got in and just attacked the hives, but it was me, Jer Bear. I disassembled my hives. I came out and inspected them the other day, and I had no bees left. Man! Quick overview of what I think happened, okay? This hive over here completely died. I mean, the whole hive died out. I opened it up, all the bees were dead. Okay, pretty easy to figure that out. They just did not survive overwintering. The wood hive at the end completely absconded. What does abscond means? Well, they packed their bags and they moved out. Not one bee left in the hive. Now there was honey left in the hives. Both hives had honey. It's not like this hive starved. There's a variety of reasons why your entire colony collapses and all the bees die. Now, I want to point out that these were package bees that I purchased from OB Farms 2 years ago. So they lasted me 2 years. They survived 2 years. This hive right here was a hive that something weird happened last year on it. The bees absconded, completely disappeared. Dismayed, I took the hives apart. I went ahead and built this new hive stand, which, by the way, it worked out perfectly. The hive stand is great. It works out great. Went to put the hives back, and the bees had returned to the hives when I moved them back, thinking maybe they were, the only thing I figure out is they were hanging from a branch someplace. You know how you see a bee, the bees that are swarming, and you got a big clump of bees, and the scouts went out and looked for a new home. When I took this one apart and I set it several feet back, they thought a new home, but little did they know it was the same home that they absconded from earlier. So I got lucky. But for some reason, that hive was determined to abscond, and they did. Now, this is the same hive that before I built this new hive stand, they each had their own individual stands. Last summer, we had really high winds, and I came out one morning, and the whole hive was on the ground. Bees were still there, but I've always had trouble with that hive. Don't know why. They were Saskatchewan's bees, so I am officially calling it quits on both Saskatchewan's bees, and I'm also calling it quits on dealing with package bees. So you may be asking, what's the difference between a package bee and other kind of bee colonies that I get? Well, these are packages that I've been bringing home. This is a package. Well, this is actually 4 packages. These are cans of syrup that are in there. All the syrup's gone though. But each package has about 5 pounds of bees in there and 1 queen, and the queen is in one of these little cages. And so when I introduce a package of bees, you do 1 package per hive. You take the queen and you poke a little hole in the it's a plug in there, and that little plug is made out of candy, and eventually the bees eat through the candy and let the queen out, and then their hive is called queen right. So they are now happy housemakers, and they make beehives for me, and they make honey for me also. So these are packaged bees I got from OB Farms. And these are honey frames that they left behind. These frames are full of honey. I can cut off the caps off these and harvest the honey, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave these and I'm going to feed them to the new bees because I opted for nukes of bees. Okay, a nuke or nucleus of bees is different than a package of bees. A package of bees consists of 5 pounds of bees with a queen, no frames. A nucleus of bees is a small box. It holds 5 frames that are already built out. The bees are already working in there. They have brood, which is baby bees, eggs, etc. They have a queen that is held in a cage until you release her. Or they may have a queen already released in there, but they're all contained in a box when you get them delivered. So all you do is you take the frames, queen, bees, brood, and all, and you just transfer them into your hives. Now these are 10-frame hives. The nucleuses we get are 5-frame hives. So you have 5 empty frames. We distribute 3 frames on one side, 2 frames on the other side that are empty. You put them in there and let them start growing out, and after a couple of weeks you put an empty box above them, and then or below them. You lift the empties up, you put an empty super, which that box is called the super, below them, and you put the full bees above them, and she naturally gravitates down and starts laying brood, eggs, and the bees draw out the undrawn out comb. And the bees, they take this foundation. This is a frame, this is a foundation, this is plastic foundation. I prefer these over the wax foundation. Now, these are lightly coated with wax, so it kind of gives the bees an inspiration to start drawing this out because it's imprinted with little hexagon shapes, already the shape that honeycomb is in, and the bees will draw this out, just like they have already done with this one. This is a plastic foundation, same way, and they've already drawn out the wax, and they can fill this with either brood, or in this case, they have capped some honey up here in the corner. So whatever the bees decide how they want to set up housekeeping, you put these frames in the deeps, or they're called brood chambers. The big box are called deeps or brood chambers, and they will start keeping house. Now I have 5 nucleuses I purchased that I'll have delivered on Saturday. I set one up in the garden. I showed you guys that earlier in a previous episode, but this one, since we had such failure, I need to pressure wash the frames that have been affected by some wax moths, because 2 of the hives were set vacant for a period of time. And if you don't preserve your frames appropriately in your boxes, you're going to get wax moths in there. They're going to lay their larvae, and they leave this web stuff through there. It's nasty. Anyway, I'm pressure washing all my boxes. I'll be repainting the ones that need to be repainted, and we're going to get set up for the new hive. So just stand back, watch me. I'm just going to pressure wash a couple of these and get this all ready. Let them dry overnight. Come out to the apiary tomorrow. I'm going to paint them and get it all set up, and then Saturday we'll introduce new bees to the apiary. So let's get these pressure washed. This kind of makes it nice having those plastic foundation frames, is because you can pressure wash them and get all the wax moth stuff off of them. And you can salvage them. You don't have to burn them. They're absolutely salvageable, which helps maintain the integrity of my show of a frugal homestead. So I'm saving money this way, simply by purchasing this this here pressure washer from Harbor Freight. Now this one has wax moth damage to it, so we're just gonna flush that wax moth damage off. And it's doing a fantastic job at it. I don't know if beekeepers have really taken advantage of the luxury of a pressure washer. Yeah, this is completely getting rid of the wax moths. In a future video, I'll go over all of the problems that bees face with the different mites and moths and other mice, beetles. There's a variety of different trachea mite and nosema mite. And there's a new mite being introduced by way of New Zealand and Australia through Canada. So we got to really be aware of that and start treating for that too. I prefer a natural solution, but if there's no natural solution, we're just gonna have to make do with what we got. Now this one was really damaged, and this pressure washer really cleaned that one up, big time. Okay, now to clean this box up. The boxes are easy to clean up. Now this has wax moths larvae in it. You can see wax moth larvae in there, and this pressure washer is cleaning that right out of there. Really good. This frame is now wax moth free. It looked pretty clean to begin with, but when you look in the corners and crevices, you're gonna find those little white web nests for the larvae. Yeah, you wanna get those out. Here's another frame that's full of wax moth. Now, wax moth larvae, you got to be really careful because they do get down in the cracks and crevices of your frames, and if you don't get them all, yeah, this one has one right there in that crack, right there. Yeah, you're just introducing more wax moth into your hive. I just noticed a bunch of little red bugs scampering about on this. I'm not sure what that's about. It could be the varroa mite or just other little mites, but they're definitely mites. This frame is a total wax frame. It was in the hive, and it was in my other hive that was total death. This is a wax foundation. Now, this is not the plastic foundation, and I think this is probably the catalyst in which caused the demise of my hive, is the mites, because the hive will die if they get all affected by mites. Geez, now see, this has some drawn out comb. If you see the comb that's capped, those will probably be a drone comb, which is the boy bees. And this comb right here, that one, that is more likely a supersedure cell, and there's a dead old rotting corpse of a queen in there. That was a queen cell that they created, and she never hatched. But there's a wax moth in there. So if you guys like wax foundation, more power to you. I'm finding and I'm learning as I go along, I don't like wax. Not these. That one is going into the garbage. And any other additional wax comb I can find is going to go in the garbage. Well, I got the sun setting. I've got my frames washed and drying. I purchased new lids and painted them, and new inner covers for all these. So we're going to start fresh with getting these nice, clean, dry, painted. They still will be there, red, white, and blue, and wood. I might end up painting the wood one maybe yellow. I'm not sure. We'll see how I feel about that. But I have all day tomorrow to figure it out. It's supposed to be a nice day, and this chore is done. No, bears did not attack my apiary. It was this bear, Jer Bear. So stay tuned tomorrow to the next episode. We're going to go ahead and get these painted and get these put together. I already introduced to you guys the anatomy of a hive in the previous video when I set up the apiary in the garden. I got another detail of a show I want to film on that, because I want to go into more detail on that particular hive because it's unique. It's different than these hives, and we'll go into that. So click that bell icon and subscribe, then that will alert you to the new shows as I produce them and upload them. Please give us a thumbs up. That likes the show, it helps the algorithms, and it tells Google, hey, we need to pay attention to this homesteader here. He's got some good stuff if people are watching him. Leave a comment or a compliment, tip if you guys have a tip. And also, please be safe, always be kind. We'll see you guys in the next episode. The apiary is going to be put back together in that episode. Yep, we're going to paint, make it pretty, and we'll see how it goes from there. Hey, we'll see you guys. Bye-bye.